What's up you guys? This is Gabby, and what are we going to talk about today? So in this video, I am going to answer the question that people ask me. Do you need a master's of social work in order to thrive as a social worker? Can you be a social worker with just a bachelor's degree? The answer is yes, you totally can. You can get licensed. You won't be able to do therapy or anything like that, but you can become a certified licensed social worker with just a bachelor's degree. But let's dig a little bit deeper. In order to answer the question about whether or not you would benefit from getting a master's degree and potentially taking out tons and tons of student loan debt, you have to think about what you want to get out of your career path as a social worker. What do you want to do? Do you want to become licensed? Do you want to be a therapist? Do you want to work in corporate social work like myself? Do you want to work in the foundation space like I've done? Do you want to work as a case manager? Do you want to be a youth advocate? Like, what do you see yourself doing in the field of social work? Because as you probably can already imagine, there are some areas of social work that you are not able to really do without having a master's degree. So let's talk about what a few of those areas are. If you want to be a therapist, which a lot of social workers do, you have to be a master social work holder, because in order to become a licensed clinical therapist and to get that LCSW, and I know it's called different things in different states, but hopefully you guys know what I'm talking about. In order to get this, you have to have a master's of social work. And also in my videos, I talk a lot about macro social work, working in the corporate space, doing program management, working in the foundation space. I think 9 times out of 10, unless you have a lot of experience as a BSW holder, most likely for these jobs, they're going to want someone who has a master's degree. I know getting a position as a program officer for a foundation, it's a pretty sought after position and it's very competitive. So they're 9 times out of 10 going to want you to have that master's degree, whether it's in public health, nonprofit management, business, social work. You're going to want a master's degree for that. If you only have a bachelor's degree, you are able to be a social worker and you are able to find jobs. I know a lot of people who stopped at just a bachelor's who were able to find jobs and they're doing well in the field, but there's like this glass ceiling that they have over their heads and they're not able to totally reach the positions that they want to be in, which is one reason there are many people who stop at a bachelor's degree, they work in the field for 10 years or so, and then they get their master's degree later because they're realizing that no matter how much experience they get, they are still having trouble finding certain positions or climbing the ladder with just a bachelor's degree. When I was in my program, I had a lot of people who were in their 30s, early 40s, and it was because, you know, they spent all that time with the BSW, but you know, they found that in order to fully reach their highest potential in the field, they needed a master's degree. Also, when it comes to master's degree in general, this can be said. Right now, things are very competitive as far as the job market. The amount of people who have master's degrees in general are way higher than 10, 20 years ago. So that's kind of setting the bar at a higher place. So for some jobs, you need to have a master's degree simply to compete. If a job has 10 resumes and 9 out of 10 of those people have master's degrees and you have a bachelor's, yes, you have great experience, but you only have a bachelor's. Some recruiting officers may automatically push your resume to the side just because you can't compete with everyone else who has that higher education. And I know that may be sad for some of you to hear, but I'm just being very honest about the situation. Even though having a master's degree is more likely today, more and more people have a master's degree, it's still looked at as something that is prestigious and something that kind of puts you above the rest. It makes people intrigued and they want to do a double take once they see that you have a master's degree listed on your resume. And also, if you're interested in managing a nonprofit or being an executive director, very competitive, as you can imagine, and a lot of people in those positions have master's degrees, whether it's in social work, business, or another area. especially if you want to be an executive director or a CEO for a more mid-level or larger nonprofit. When it comes to smaller community nonprofits, education is not as important, but when it comes to maybe the bigger ones, more well-known, recognized ones, having a master's degree will definitely help you. I think it's good to have a master's degree because it just opens you up for opportunities today, but also future opportunities that you may not even be thinking about or may currently not be interested in, but will find yourself interested in a few years down the line. I just think it's a way to foolproof yourself, but I also understand that it's expensive to get a graduate school degree. And you guys have probably seen my videos where I've talked about how much student loan debt I'm in. And it's not a joke. This is something that is stressful, and it really hangs over your head when you have student loan debt, and it prevents you from moving forward in other areas of your life. So it's something you definitely want to think about and consider, and also do what you have to do to secure different funding opportunities and scholarship opportunities if you are thinking about going back to school to get your master's degree. Check into different programs you were in during your undergraduate experience to see if they can help you in some way. Look at different community groups that you're a part of, maybe a church that you're a part of. Try to find different websites that focus on connecting students with grants and scholarships, and really put in that work. Even if you have to delay going to school because you just don't have the capital at this time, I think it's a smart plan because it's not something to take lightly. Me, I went right into grad school. Do I regret it? No, I don't. But it would have been great if I would have worked in the job force and made a little bit more money before I jumped into it, because that would have been less loans that I took out. I mean, that's water under the bridge right now. Like, I'm happy with where I am and the journey that I took, but there's consequences to every action. And the consequences to what I did going to grad school right away is that I have a lot of student loans that I'm paying back. So you just kind of have to weigh what's important for you at the time. And although I have a lot of student loan debt, I'm also making good money, and I don't think I would be in a place where I am making what I'm making right now if I did not get a grad school degree. So looking at how much money I had to take out for my student loans, which if you count my undergraduate and grad school loans, it was $71,000. I talk more about it on another YouTube video that I made. But let's look at that. $71,000 of student loan debt for the 6 years that I went to school. But right now, if I were to guess, I would say that I'm probably making $35,000 more a year than I would have been making if I would have only gotten a bachelor's degree. This is kind of an anecdotal estimate that I'm making.
Hey, you guys, I wanted to add more context to that comment. So that salary difference of $35,000 won't be true for everyone. I do macro social work, and that does tend to yield a higher salary. So do research to find a number for yourself based on the type of job you want to have after you get your MSW. Also remember, it took me about 5 years in the field for me to get to this current salary. So this does take time, and the point I'm really trying to make is that you do have the opportunity to make back the money you spent on your grad school degree and then some. So don't be completely discouraged by the price tag of an MSW degree.
So from that, you can already see that in 2 years, I'm going to make the money that I paid for my graduate school degree. All right, now let's think about how much more time I have before I retire. I am currently 30 years old. I'll probably retire. What's the average age of retirement? Like, what is it, like 60 or something? Let's say 60. 30 times 35,000, which is the difference between the amount of money I'm making now with the master's compared to what I think I would be making if I only had a bachelor's. All right, wow. So that is over $1 million. Wow, that is insane. So yes, you may be sacrificing money right now in the here and now, but looking at the big picture of your career, getting a grad school degree can definitely be a benefit for you. So that's just something to consider. That's not minimizing the stress around taking out, let's say, $71,000 of student loan debt that I took out. That's still a big deal. But if you look at the long term, you can see why it was probably ideal for me to take out that student loan debt. So yeah, am I recommending that everyone get a master's in social work? No, I'm not. I can't do that. Only you can make that decision for yourself. And I wouldn't want you coming to me 2 years down the line saying that I made you take out a whole bunch of student loan debt. I don't need that on my conscience. I want to sleep at night. Thank you very much. But in this video, I just wanted to highlight why I got my master's degree in social work and why it could possibly be a benefit for you. You have to think about your specific situation though, and what you hope to do with your degree, with your education, with your career, because it's not the same for everyone. Everyone doesn't want to be a manager or a director or a CEO or work for big companies and, you know, big organizations. That's not for everyone. Some people are very happy and have found their place working for smaller nonprofits, grassroots, community organizations. In these spaces, you don't really need a certain educational level. It's not always a requirement. Often to get these type of jobs, you just need the experience and those connections. I live in the city of Detroit and I work in the community development space, and there are so many amazing people who are running nonprofits, who are a part of grassroots organizations, who are doing awesome things. And it can be argued that they are actually making the biggest change when it comes to their communities. And do you necessarily need a master's degree to work for these amazing organizations? No, not necessarily. So it really does depend. And also, do you ever see yourself teaching other people in your field? If so, that's another reason to think about getting a master's degree. But if not, it may not be necessary for you. Everyone has their own specific career journeys, and you have to think about what that looks like for you before you can think about what educational level you need to get there. And also, maybe you want to do some research on the job boards to see if the positions you are interested in actually requires a master's degree. You may find that you only need a bachelor's degree or maybe an associate's degree for the positions that you seek. So that's really important to do as well as you are thinking about whether or not this is a good move for you. And as I mentioned, there's no reason to rush. I got my MSW right after my bachelor's degree, but everyone doesn't need to do that, and it may not be a good idea for everyone, especially if you don't have your finances in order. So if you are considering getting a master's, maybe even get a job who could help you to fund your master's degree, that would be awesome, right? So that could be a part of what you're looking for when you are considering jobs. Ask them during your interview process if that is a benefit that this potential job has. Man, maybe I should have done that, you guys. Do what I say, not what I do. No, I'm kidding. As I mentioned, there's no regrets. I think what I did was best for me at the time, and it may be best for you too. I know at the time I was very excited about education. I was very motivated to continue. So I really wanted to take advantage of that and continue my grad school experience directly after undergrad. And I also didn't know what my future looked like and if I would be in the position to easily go to grad school after my life was already kind of started. So I thought it made sense for me to do it right away so I wouldn't get sidetracked by anything later and not want to go back later. This is definitely something that you want to give a long, hard think about. I hope this video helps to give you some, you know, different things to consider as you're trying to make your decision about if you want to go to grad school to get your MSW. And I hope this video was helpful for you guys. I want to let you guys know that I am currently in the process of doing a giveaway campaign. So I am offering one of my subbies the opportunity to have a one-on-one coaching session with me. And in order to be put in the drawing to sit down and have that coaching session with me, I am asking you guys to do 3 things. So 1, make sure you're subscribed to my YouTube channel. 2, make sure you're subscribed to my email list. And 3, make sure you follow me on Instagram. And after you do all 3 of those things, you can just inbox me on Instagram and let me know. I'll double check it and then I will put you in the drawing. And the date that this drawing is over will be left in the description box, just so you're clear. And I look forward to connecting with one of you. Good luck on your journey, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.